sports.
We are Black Hawk. We are country.
It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the San Francisco Giants. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Wednesday evening to you, wherever you may be. Giants and Dodgers meeting in a two-game series, their 8th meeting of the year. The Dodgers have a slight edge. They've won 4 of the previous 7. The pitching tonight, Matt Cain, a very good right-hander who just doesn't get any run support, and he's 3-8 against the Dodgers' lifetime. The Dodgers counter with Clayton Kershaw, who is not only 3-1 lifetime, he has a streak of 23 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings against the Giants. Game 2 of the series tomorrow night, it will be Madison Bumgarner, and he'll be going up against Chad Billingsley. The Dodgers, by the way, 3.5 back of Colorado and 3 back of the Giants. We'll get to the ball game. We'll have it all coming up for you right after this.
It is brought to you by San Manuel. Celebrate your birthday this year at San Manuel Indian Bingo and Casino and receive a special birthday package. Visit sanmanuel.com for details. You must be 21 to enter the casino. Moments away from Dodgers baseball here on Prime Ticket. San Francisco and LA, a mini two-game series, but still a big series nonetheless. So Steve Lyons, Patrick O'Neill. We're going to get to our FoxSportsWest.com headlines. This is when the big players got to step up.
Yeah, I mean, whether or not it's a big series, we're seeing some big numbers out here from some of these guys. Look at Clayton Kershaw. His career versus the Giants, I mean, you can make numbers talk for you, but when you have an ERA of 1.07, you don't need much else to say.
What about Ethier? Look at that.
I mean, you're talking about almost 50 at-bats, too, 500 average. The reason why he doesn't have any other numbers to go along with it, the 3 RBIs, is because Matt Cain's pretty tough, so nobody else is hitting him, and then Ethier comes and crushes him. There's nobody out there to drive in. Hopefully that'll change tonight.
Is his name Abel because he's killing Cain? I don't know if that works out, but man, hey, Ethier 0 for his last 13, so it's good that he's running in to Matt Cain. Don't forget, log on to FoxSportsWest.com all season long for all your Dodgers headlines. All right, when we come back, Clayton Kershaw takes the hill, trying to stop the San Francisco Giants. And Vince Scully has the call for you next on Prime Ticket.
Introducing the Hyundai Assurance Trade-in Value Guarantee. See your Hyundai dealer for details. Buy 76 gasoline. We're on the driver's side. Buy CarMax. Now more than ever, the smart choice is CarMax. And by AT&T. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be. Welcome to Dodger Stadium. The clouds have moved around and changed position, but they're not hiding the blue sky up ahead. So weather-wise, it looks like we'll be all right. And it's the Giants and the Dodgers meeting for the 8th and 9th time of the year. For Bruce Bochy's club, they're struggling a bit like the Dodgers in scoring runs. In fact, they're only averaging 3 runs a game. So here's Bruce's lineup. Aaron Rowand in center and Freddie Sanchez at second. Buster Posey behind the plate, and Pat Burrell in left field. Cody Ross is in right field, Aubrey Huff at first base, Miguel Tejada at short, Mark DeRosa at third base, and Matt Cain will be on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw. He has a record of 5-3. He is 3-1 in his career against the Giants. He's already beaten them this year, and he comes into the game with 23 2/3 scoreless innings. However, for Clayton Kershaw and for Chad Billingsley and any starting pitcher who goes to the mound today or in the future, at least for the moment, the Dodger bullpen has been dealt yet another blow. First they lost Broxton, then they lost Quo. Now the report is that Vicente Padilla will not be available. He has a tightness in the forearm. They're treating him. He'll see a doctor tonight to make a decision on whether it'll be an MRI or an X-ray. So if Padilla would go on the DL, they really would have a bullpen by committee. They also know that Kenley Jansen's been impressive. Matt Guerrier has done very well. Mike McDougald as well. But they are getting thin down there after the pen had done so well in the last 19 games. So Kershaw now is getting ready to face Aaron Rowan. Then it'll be Freddie Sanchez and Buster Posey. Rowan has struck out 38 times so far this year and has walked only 6. So you know he's a very, very aggressive hitter. Aaron checking in, hitting .250 with a home run and 9 runs batted in. And the first pitch is a little flare. Going out on the grass is Aaron Miles to make the catch, so that didn't take long. 1 pitch and 1 away as Rowan pops up. Taking a look at the Dodgers, you have Givens, Kemp, and Ethier in the outfield, with Uribe, Carroll, Miles, and Loney on the infield. And punching the time clock again, Rod Barajas handling Clayton Kershaw. So 1 away in the first inning, and here's Freddie Sanchez. He's had a bad left knee. His left knee was swelling. He had to miss 1 game, but he's back in the lineup tonight. Freddie hitting .272, 2 home runs, 11 runs batted in, and the right-hand hitter takes a strike and the count 0-1. The temperature, a comfortable 63 degrees, no breeze. The flags hanging limply in center field. The strike 1 pitch on the way, fastball low and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. The sky is a marvel just to look at, with the various shapes of clouds coming together, some drifting apart, and peeking out through the holes of the clouds, the brilliant blue. The next pitch to Sanchez, missing inside, 2-1. So it's kind of a postcard sky here in Los Angeles for sure tonight. And according to the weatherman, we are not worrying about rain. Now the 2-1 pitch coming up to Freddie Sanchez. Kershaw backs off the rubber for the moment. Now hooks back up with Rod Barajas. The outfield has Kemp shaded a little to right center, and the pitch to Freddie is swung on, hit to straightaway center. So Kemp goes back to his right and makes the catch. 2 down in the first inning, and Buster Posey coming up. Buster Posey, at least for early in the career, is not doing what he did last year. He's hitting .271. He has 4 home runs, 20 runs batted in. He has a little 6-game hitting streak, but here at Dodger Stadium, he's had at least 1 hit in every game in which he has played. That would be 11 straight. So Kershaw ready, and Clayton delivers, fastball high, ball 1. In looking at the Giants going up against Kershaw, Miguel Tejada, 6 for 18. That would be a .333 batting average. Pat Burrell, 5 for 17 with a home run. Ground ball to third. Uribe is up with it, guns it across, and that's that. An easy first inning for Clayton Kershaw. He now has 24 2/3 scoreless innings against the Giants and a half It took Clayton Kershaw 7 pitches to retire the side in order. And now the Dodgers will be coming up facing Matt Cain. Here are the names on Don Mattingly's card. Jamie Carroll, followed by Aaron Miles and Andre Ethier. Then Matt Kemp and Juan Uribe and James Loney. Jay Gibbons in left field batting 7th. Then Rod Barajas and Clayton Kershaw. On the mound, Matt Cain, who is one of a rather remarkably gifted pitcher, and you'd never know it by his numbers. For instance, he is 3-8 lifetime against the Dodgers. You know what his earned run average is here at Dodger Stadium? 1.6. For whatever reason, the Giants leave their bats in the bat rack when Matt Cain pitches, and he gets a strike to Jamie Carroll. Jamie Carroll, his last home run was August the 9th of 2009, so Cain not worrying about the long ball, but Jamie's hitting .311, and the next one in there for a strike, so Carroll is in a hole 0-2. Not that it's important, because that's not his game, but the fact that he's had 635 at-bats without hitting one out. No balls and 2 strikes. Cain ready. Matt comes back. Fastball fouled away down the right field line. Still 0-2. We can tell you final score. The Phillies beat the Rockies 2-1. What a pitching duel. Cole Hamels outpitched Jorge De La Rosa in Philadelphia. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Carroll ready, and the ground ball is short. Waiting for the hop is Tejada. Gets it over to first base in time for the out. So 1 away in the first inning. Let's take a look at the Giants defensively. Burrow, Rowland, and Ross in the outfield. And the infield, DeRosa, Tejada, Sanchez, and Huff. And the battery of Posey and Cain. 1 away. And here is Aaron Miles. Miles is certainly a very aggressive hitter. At 5'8", he's hitting .298. And what really gives you pause, he has walked twice. That's all. And he takes a pitch low, ball 1, 1-0 to Aaron Miles. On deck, Andre Ethier. No score, bottom of the first inning. Matt Cain, born in Alabama, lives in Tennessee, and the 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed, and the count 1-1. When Matt Cain gets the count 0-2, he's really dynamite. You know what the hitters are hitting with that count? 135. So Matt on a 1-1 pitch coming up, and Miles hits one on a line, picked nicely at first by Aubrey Huff. Remember when Aubrey Huff was playing right field, it was obvious that was not his position. So they have moved him to where he's comfortable at first base. And Cody Ross returned to play right field. And the Giants have improved defensively by leaps and bounds. Here's Andre Ethier checking in, hitting .333. 4 home runs, 21 runs batted in, and wearing out Matt Cain. Hard to believe he's hitting .500 against Cain, and the first pitch in for a strike. For Ethier's numbers against Matt, 22 hits and 44 at bats, and a .500 batting average. Strike 1 pitch, and that's low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. We have the same fine quartet of umpires that worked Milwaukee's 2 games, held over for these 2, and that's Bob Davidson behind the plate. The 1-1 pitch off the plate, ball 2, 2-1 the count. So Matt Cain has the lowest rate of called strikes to his total strikes. So he's always around the plate, the hitter's not looking, and there's Ethier swinging and missing, and the count 2-2. Not to overwhelm you with numbers, but when Cain has a 2-ball, 2-strike count on a hitter, the hitter is batting .189. However, this hitter is hitting .500 against him, and Andre fouls it off. So Ethier trying to get something started. Bottom of the first inning. The Dodgers are 1 game under .500 at home, 2 games under .500 on the road, and Mattingly will be taking his club out on the road after tomorrow night's game. 2-2 fouled away. For the Giants, They're 10-5 at home. For Bruce Bochy, 2 games under 500 on the road. They have a better record within the division. They're 14-9 against Western teams. The Dodgers are 8-10. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Andre Ethier. Swung on and missed, and another hitter bites the dust against Matt Cain. So down go the Dodgers, and at the end of an inning, no score. Matt Cain made 14 pitches to retire the Dodgers in the first inning. He has a little scoreless streak going like Kershaw, and Pat Burrell checks in at the plate. Big right-hand hitting left fielder, and takes ball 1. Pat Burrell 5 for 17 with a home run against Kershaw, just under 300, batting .240 for the year. Clayton Redding comes back, and the pitch low and inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Now the 2-0 pitch coming up. Clayton Redding, here he comes. That's in for a strike. Kershaw has been outstanding in the first 3 innings of his starts this year. Then he has struggled a bit from the 4th inning on. His earned run average in the first 3 innings is 1. High bouncer to the right side. Miles takes the hop and takes care of Burrell. So we have 1 away in the 2nd inning. And Cody Ross coming up. Cody Ross, former Dodger, did not play in San Francisco. He was on the DL. Didn't play here, but now manning right field. Cody hitting .246 with 2 home runs, 7 runs batted in. 2 for 8. That would be a .250 batting average against Clayton Kershaw. Cody, right-hand hitter. Kershaw into the windup. Clayton Redding, here he comes, and it's in there for a strike. 0-1 the count to Cody Ross. Cody, a major factor in the Giants' success last year. He had .288. Right-hand hitter swings, fouls it back 0-2. Cody is out of New Mexico. His dad underwent 5 knee surgeries, 3 while playing football, but he was also a steer wrestler in the rodeo. Cody is just as tough himself. 5'9", 205 pounds, 31, and he takes high. 1-2. He was with the Dodgers in 2005 and briefly in 2006. Didn't play much either year. So he's bounced around. Detroit, the Dodgers, Cincinnati, Florida, and then the Giants. He swings, pulls one just foul outside of 3rd and down the line. So Cody will have to come back and try it again. So Cody just misses, grounding a ball that just hooked in the outside part of the bag and went down in foul ground. Jerry Lane right there on the line to call it, so Cody will come back. Because his father was in the rodeo, Cody Ross had a dream that I don't imagine too many kids ever had, but he dreamt he would be a rodeo clown, which is a very tough job. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Cody swings and down he goes. Kershaw picks up his first strikeout of the night. And for Clayton Kershaw, remember, he donates $100 on every strikeout to help building that, I guess it's an orphanage in Africa. So far now he's contributed $6,500. And with 2 out in the second inning, here's Aubrey Huff. Aubrey is struggling. In the last 3 games, he's stranded 8 runners, which reminds us the Giants follow Milwaukee. And remember, Milwaukee, they were 0 for 9 and 2 for 22 with runners in scoring position. Here's the strike 1 pitch, and Aubrey hits a ground ball to Miles. Just to conclude the thought, the Giants in the last 4 games with runners in scoring position, they're hitting 129. And at the end of an inning and a half, no score. Score in the ball game. Matt Cain getting ready to pitch to Matt Kemp, Juan Uribe, and James Loney in that order. Kemp hitting .321, hit his 8th home run last night, proved to be a winner against Randy Wolf. And the first pitch in the dirt kicks off to the right, back to the screen, and they count 1 ball and no strikes. Boy, you talk about how sweet it is. Matt Kemp walked up to the plate last night. In his 5 at-bats against Randy Wolf, he had struck out all 5 times. The 1-0 pitch fouled away. Then in his 6th at-bat, on a 3-1 count, he got a pitch on the outside part of the plate at the knees, and he hit it into the right field bleachers. And then when he came back up for his next at-bat against Wolf, you got it, he struck out again. But he does have that 1 hit, and it was a big one. The 1-1 pitch, Matt swings, fouls it away. 1-2 the count. Matt Cain led the Giants and National League rookies in strikeouts. And the last time the Giants have had fellas like that were John D'Acquisto and the Count, John Montefusco. The 1-2 pitch is just off the plate. Matt had 179 strikeouts his first year. Lincecum came back with 150. Well, Matt can do it without a doubt. And the 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball hit in the air, foul down the line off first base. And that carries to the facade upstairs and bounces down below. 2-2 the count. Matt is a big fella. He's 6'3", 230. He'll be 27 October the 1st. He's been with the Giants since '05. Matt ready in the 2-2 pitch, and Kemp takes low and away. Ball 3, 3-2. Waiting on deck, hitting behind Kemp, is Juan Uribe, who of course had the big year with the Giants last year. So 3-2 the count to Matt Kemp. Cain looks down the barrel. Now he's ready. And the pitch to Kemp, foul back to the screen. So Kemp still up there hacking away. 3-2. A couple of years ago, Bruce Bochy summoned Matt Cain into his office to talk about strength and conditioning. He was not a fan of running, let's put it that way. 3-2 pitch is swung on and missed. So down goes Kemp, and following Ethier with the strikeout route. And we have one away, and the batter will be Juan Uribe. Nothing fancy, but the pitch was up, and Kemp walks away empty-handed. For Matt Cain, he has 40 strikeouts and 13 walks. Just to compare them, Clayton Kershaw has 60-some-odd, 65 strikeouts and 20 walks. So Cain now working on Uribe, and the first one, a sweeper down and way off the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. Uribe, having been a teammate, has never faced Cain before. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Juan, and the right-hand hitter takes high. Ball 2, 2-0 the count. Uribe last night, 2 hits plus a walk, and that's a big thing that's changed with Uribe. Last couple of games, he's actually gotten some walks. The 2-0 pitch is foul back. Uribe, thanks to the last couple of games, has walked 10 times. He has struck out a little more than 3 times that many. 2-1 the count. Cain turns, ready, and the 2-1 pitch. Uribe backs off, and it gets the inside corner, and the count 2-2. The Matt just did get that there on the edge. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cain comes right back, and half swing on a fastball down, and down goes Uribe. You know, a reminder, Don Mattingly's bobblehead night is Wednesday, June 1st. Dodgers and Rockies. Compliments of Carl's Jr. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions or call 866-DODGERS. So 3 strikeouts in a row now for Matt Cain. That would make a manager's head bobble. And the hitter is James Loney. Loney hitting .231. He has a home run and 12 runs batted in. Hits 1 foul up along first base. And the count 0-1. What has Loney done against Matt Cain? 14 hits, batting .359. So James trying to get his swing back up against a pitcher he has handled well in the past. Cain ready in the strike 1 pitch. Loney takes inside under the hands. 1 ball and 1 strike. The outfield, well, Burrell is shallow in left. Rowan shaded just a little towards left center. And Cody Ross has moved over. They don't expect Loney to pull. He takes just off the plate, and a 2-1 count. Always interesting to see how the outfield is deployed to give you an idea of perhaps how they're going to pitch to a hitter. The 2-1 pitch on the way. Loney fouls it back. Last night, when Matt Kemp came up in the first inning, we were talking about center fielder Carlos Gomez, who was way over in right center field. So you had the thought, well, maybe they're going to pitch Kemp away. And sure enough, he got a 3-1 pitch away, but not away far enough. And he hit it away for the big blow. 2-2 pitch. Loney grounds one foul over towards the Giant dugout, and the count stays 2-2. For Matt Cain, throws hard. He's been clocked as high as 97 with a sinking fastball. He has a cutter, curveball, slider, and change. He nods yes, turns, and the 2-2 pitch is just low, and a 3-2 count. Matt has always been a very aggressive pitcher. Matt has started over 50 games before he was 25 years old for the Giants. 3-2 pitch is swung on and popped up on the infield. Miguel Tejada, the shortstop, on the grass to make the catch, and that'll be that for the Dodgers. So we have 2 innings in the book. The Giants nothing and the Dodgers nothing. Two-thirds scoreless innings. Don Sutton had 31 scoreless innings against the Giants, so Clayton's getting close. Hideo Nomo had 23 against San Francisco, and here's Miguel Tejada taking a strike. Miguel Tejada picked up his first major league hit here back in 1997. It was against Hideo Nomo, and it was a triple. The strike one pitch, the veteran shortstop takes off the plate. 37 years old on the 25th next week. Miguel Tejada from the Dominican Republic. He usually doesn't hang around much, and he has a look at a strike. 1-2 the count. Outside of Betancourt, a first ball hitter, he is the second lowest at bat as far as number of pitches. He averages just a hair more than 3 pitches, and the 1-2 pitch is swung on and fouled away. Also, although he does not hang around very long, it's evident when you realize he doesn't walk very much. And we'll see what Miguel has done this year. He has walked just 6 times, but he's also only struck out 12. 1-2 the count. Tejada swings and down he goes. Kershaw picks up his second strikeout. He's retired 7 in a row. In looking at Clayton Kershaw, some of the great Dodger pitchers of recent years and what they've done against the Giants, Kershaw has a brilliant earned run average of 1. Don Drysdale 1.8. Then you have Hershiser at 1.5, and surprise, both Koufax and Valenzuela ERAs of 4 or a little more. The pitch to DeRosa in for a strike, 0-1. So Clayton, at the tender age of 23, has already gotten his name right up there with some of the great Dodger pitchers. The strike one pitch is in there, 0-2. DeRosa is playing with Pablo Sandoval on the shelf, and Mark not ready. He is 0 for his last 22 at bats. The strike two pitch, check swing. They look no swing. DJ Rayburn managing at first. There's Pablo Sandoval sitting in the dugout, a little banged up, so it'll be a while before the Giants get the Panda back. The 1-2 pitch on the way, check swing foul on a good fastball. That got up there at 95, and a 1-2 count to the former quarterback at the University of Pennsylvania. And although he opted to go baseball instead of football, when you see the injuries that DeRosa has had throughout his career, he wouldn't have done that badly in football. He takes high. He has so many injuries since he started to play professionally. He was a 7th round pick by the Braves in 1996. It would take a while to call them all off. 2-2 the count. Kershaw ready and deals foul back. Still 2-2. Oh, we'll try. Broken hamate bone, broken right pinky, ligament in the ankle, knee surgery, high left ankle injury, strained right ring finger, strained a tendon or ligament, left eye migraine, and the 2-2 pitch swung on and foul tip held by Barajas, and DeRosa goes back. He also was taken by ambulance one year because of an irregular heartbeat. Marks had a partially torn tendon sheath. He had left wrist surgery. I mean, it's amazing. And when they say you've got to have heart, Mark DeRosa has plenty of it to hang tough after all those injuries. Meanwhile, we have 2 out here in the third, no score, and a big swing and a miss by Matt Cain. Matt does not have a batting average. In checking what he has done, he is 0 for 16, and he has struck out 10 times. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Kershaw has made 32 pitches with 2 out in the third, and the 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball grounded fair inside first and down the line. Over to get it is Ethier. So Matt Cain gets his first hit of the year on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. He was late. Who cares? It says Matt. He hit it inside first and has himself a base hit. So a 2-out single, and for the first time, Clayton Kershaw will have to pitch out of a stretch. So Aaron Rowand, who popped up in the first inning, will check in. Kershaw, hands at his sides. One thing the league does not do, they do not run on Kershaw. Of course, Cain's not going to run anyway. First pitch at low, ball 1. But in his career, 19 stolen bases, and he has caught 17. Over the years, he's picked off 31 runners. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Kershaw comes back, fastball swung on and missed. 1-1 the count to Rowan. Freddie Sanchez on deck. No score in the ball game. Cain retired 6 in a row, striking out 3. Kershaw had retired 8 in a row, striking out 3, and then Cain got the base hit. 1-1 to Aaron Rowand, hitting .248. Kershaw ready, back he comes, fouled away, upstairs off to the right, and they count 1-2. That was another 95-mile-an-hour fastball. One reason with Kershaw going, it's a very good reason that Andres Torres is not playing. Torres is 0 for 8 hitting left-handed. Kershaw ready and delivers, and that's going to be flared over the head of a leaping Lonian down the line. Cain is on his way to third. Rowand hops at first, and the Giants suddenly are in business. With 2 out, Cain singles to right, Rowand singles to right, and Freddie Sanchez coming up. Aaron hit that ball inside out, just hit over the outstretched arm and glove of James Loney. First and third, 2 out, no score, third inning. And here's Freddie Sanchez, fly to center in the first inning. Freddie was hitting .250 against Kershaw, former National League batting champ. Right-hand hitter, bends at the knees and waist. Though Kershaw suddenly in trouble because with 2 out, the opposing pitcher got his first hit of the year. Clayton delivers and a curveball in for a strike. With a runner at third, as we always do, we check. Kershaw does not have a wild pitch. 0-1 the count. Cain down the line from third, Rowan away from first, and the strike one pitch on the way. Kershaw said, here he comes, and he's a little low. Good block by Barajas, or that might have gotten away. No score, third inning. Clayton Kershaw with his pitch count now getting close to 40. He made 39. One ball and one strike. Clayton from that high stretch, both arms extended, stops ready and delivers. A breaking ball, a check swing. No swing, says Rayburn. And a 2-ball, 1-strike count to Freddie Sanchez with Buster Posey on deck. Freddie back up and waiting. 5'10", 190. Batting champion back in 2006. Here comes a 2-1 pitch, fastball, and that's hit into right field. Base hit, run scores. Rowan on his way to third, and he is in there head first. So with 2 out on strikeouts, Cain single to right, Rowan singles to right, Sanchez singles to right, and the Giants are on the board, leading 1-0, and that breaks the string of scoreless innings. He came in with 23 2/3. Well, he had 26 1/3, and it's broken now by Freddie Sanchez. So 1-0 in favor of the Giants. We told you that in the last 4 games, the Giants were hitting 129 with runners in scoring position. For the year, with 2 out and runners in scoring position, they're hitting 192. And by the way, in those situations, Freddie Sanchez was hitting 133 until now. So the Giants wake up here a bit and take a 1-0 lead. Buster Posey grounded to third in the first inning. Right-hand hitting catcher, brilliant year last year, and takes a strike, and the count 0-1. So Posey trying to keep it going. 1-0 San Francisco. Buster's full name is Gerald Dempsey Posey III. And with all of that, he can play. Strike one pitch on the way, and Posey looks in his low, 1-1. Buster, the rookie of the year in the World Series. He joined Texas Felice, American League Rookie of the Year, as the third pair of players named Rookie of the Year in their respective leagues after appearing in that year's World Series. Previous pairs, Willie Mays, Gil McDougall, Dave Righetti, and Fernando Valenzuela. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Swung on, high foul off first. Coming over to have a look, and that's about all, is Aaron Miles, and it's well back in the stands. 1-2 the count. Buster Posey lives in Leesburg, Georgia. Went to Florida State University. Got that nickname Buster from his dad, who was also known as Buster. To say he comes from a small town is kind of an understatement. The last time they checked, Leesburg, Georgia, had a population of 2,900. So Buster waiting on the 27th pitch that Kershaw has made in the inning. Plate and ready. Here he comes, and it's in the dirt on his knees. Barajas makes another good block. 3 straight hits, and the Giants are in business with 2 out. Kershaw trying to get back to his rhythm. Last year, by the way, Posey hit .309 with a half a dozen home runs against left-handers. Kershaw out of his stretch, looks at the runners. Here he comes, waved at and missed. It wasn't so much the velocity, it was the location. So down goes Posey. Kershaw winds up striking out the side, but the Giants take a 1-0 lead. Year with 2 out in the 3rd inning, and before the dust settles, the Giants get a run on back-to-back singles after Cain by Rowan and Sanchez. One thing for Matt Cain, however, despite the fact he holds runners and hitters to a 171 batting average when somebody's on the base paths, the pitch now fouled back by Jay Gibbons in the count 0-1. The one thing for sure, he hardly ever gets any runs. No support. Oh, and 1 the count to Jay Gibbons. Matt comes back, fastball grounded to the right side. Sanchez on the rim throws him out. Though Gibbons taps out, 1 away. 7 in a row retired by Matt Cain. You know, Memorial Day is just around the corner. Why not enjoy the long-standing tradition of hot dogs at Dodger Stadium? Monday, May 30th for Dollar Dodger Dog Day. For more information, go to Dodgers.com/promotions or call 866-DODGERS. Presented by our old pals Farmer John. Here's Rod Barajas, hitting .220, 7 home runs, 14 runs batted in. With those 7 home runs, he's averaged 1 every 17.5 at bats or thereabouts. Rod definitely a fly ball hitter, and takes ball 1. 1-0. For Barajas facing Matt Cain, 0 for 9. 1 out in the 3rd. Giants lead 1-0. Cain back with a good fastball, swung on and missed, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Matt Cain, an all-star 2 years ago. Matt came in with a record of 3-2. He has always pitched well here. Next pitch fouled away. We'll repeat that number that we gave you at the start of the game. Matt Cain at Dodger Stadium, his earned run average 1.6, and that's from a guy with a 3-8 lifetime record against the Dodgers. Hard to believe. Matt looks in. Posey shuffling his cards behind the plate, and the 1-2 pitch to Barajas, waved at and missed. Down he goes. 4 strikeouts for Matt Cain, and the batter will be Clayton Kershaw.
Number 22, Clayton Kershaw.
Matt Cain, and when you're talking about poor run support, he has received the lowest run support average in the major leagues since his first full season in 2006. And there's a hard ground ball to the left of Tejada, but Miguel comes up with it and throws him out. And so for Matt Cain, when he retires Kershaw, he's retired 9 in a row and walks off at the end of 3, leading 1-0. Loco. Try our delicious Baja style fish tacos with classic Baja or spicy avocado sauce. Only at El Pollo Loco. By Corona. And by Time Warner Cable. Giants leading the Dodgers 1-0 as we go to the 4th inning. Clayton Kershaw giving up 3 consecutive hits with 2 out in the 3rd. Now in the 4th, we'll face Pat Burrell, Cody Ross, and Aubrey Huff. Pat Burrell was born in Arkansas, but he was raised up in San Jose, and one of San Jose's top athletes as a teenager. Originally drafted by the Red Sox, but he went to the University of Miami instead. And Paul 1. Pat had great years with Philadelphia. He hit as many as 37 home runs and had as many as 117 runs batted in. Check swing for a strike. 1-1. For Pat Burrell, rejuvenated after spending 2009 for a little bit in Charlotte, a little bit of Montgomery. And promptly bangs it over the glove of Aaron Miles. So the Giants get a leadoff single by Pat Burrell, and the batter will be Cody Ross. What they are doing is keeping Andre Ethier very busy. Cain single to right, Rowan single to right, Sanchez single to right for a run, and with 1 out, Burrell singles to right. Cody Ross struck out in the 2nd inning. Cody 0 for 1. Pat Burrell has not stolen a base since 2009 when he was with Tampa Bay. Well, he's at first, and Ross checking now with Tim Flannery. Well, you're not expecting Burrell to steal, but you are wondering about a hit and run play. 0-1. Slow and high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kershaw has now made 51 pitches. He had made only 18 in the first 2 innings, and then had to really labor and make 28 pitches in the third. 1 ball and 1 strike. One and 2. Cody Ross has been hitting the ball pretty well, hitting .321 over the last 11 games, and he's been on base either by hit or walk each of the last 8 games. When the Dodgers opened up the year and played the Giants, he was on the DL. He had a right calf strain. He missed the first 17 games. 1-2 to Cody. 2-2. Cody has 2 home runs this year. He needs 10 more to have 100. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1-0 Giants. Top of the 4th. Hit down the line, foul, out of play. So they're certainly going the other way against Clayton Kershaw. It's paid off a little bit. When Cody Ross was with the Dodgers back 5 years ago, what a game he had. He had a grand slam home run and a 3-run home run in the same game, and now almost takes Kershaw's head off. So a line drive single to center by Cody Ross, and all of a sudden a 95-mile-an-hour fastball is ripped. So that's 5 hits in the last 1 inning plus against Clayton Kershaw. Remember, the first 8 batters made out, and Kershaw had struck out 3 of the 8. Now all of a sudden they're 5 for 6, and here's Aubrey Huff grounded out in the 2nd inning. And he goes the other way, base hit to left field. With Burrell, they will hold him, and the Giants now are all over Kershaw as Huff goes the other way for a single to load the bases. So bases loaded, nobody out. 4th inning, 1-0 Giants. So the Giants have 1 run on 6 hits. They weren't about to run Burrell. So the bases are loaded, and Miguel Tejada coming up. The veteran shortstop who was the American League most valuable player back in 2002. 11 grand slams in his career. And here's Miguel. And lifts it foul off to the right, out of play. Miguel Tejada, among other things, he's only 5'9", and yet he had the 5th longest streak of games played. He played in 1,152 straight games before he missed one. And he pulls one into left field, base hit. 1 run. They're going to go station to station, 90 feet at a time. 4 consecutive singles. The Giants now lead 2-0, and the sky is about ready to fall on Clayton Kershaw and Don Mattingly. So Tejada, base hit, run batted in. So Rick Honeycutt trying to come up with a solution. They had 3 straight hits, did the Giants, in the 3rd inning for a run. Now 4 straight hits to get Burrell home in the 4th, and they lead 2-0 on 7 hits. Burl a single to right, Ross a single to center, Huff a single to left, Tejada a single to left for a run, and Mark DeRosa, who is 0 for 23 coming up. By the way, DeRosa has 5 grand slams. He hit his first one against the Angels. Then he hit one against Atlanta. When he was with the White Sox, he actually hit a grand slam against the Giants. He hit one against Houston and against Kansas City. So here's Mark DeRosa. Bases loaded, nobody out. 2-0 in favor of the Giants. Kershaw ready, surrounded, and delivers his strike. Cody Ross at third, Aubrey Huff at second, Miguel Tejada at first. Standing room only here in the infield. Came out of nowhere. Clayton had retired first 8 in a row, struck out 3. Strike 1 pitch on the way. Big overhand and in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike. The only out since he struck out Tejada and DeRosa is a strikeout of Posey. Otherwise 7 for 8 for the Giants. 1-1. Fastball fouled away. 1-2 to Mark DeRosa. Mark playing for Pablo Sandoval. He's from Passaic, New Jersey. He was originally drafted by the Braves. Went, as we said, to the University of Pennsylvania. His father wanted so desperately to be a major league player. Now the 1-2 pitch on the way is taken in the dirt, and did that hit him on the hand? He is walking around but not going to first base. It was kind of an awkward swing. The Giant trainer is going to come out and check him. Let's take a look. So he's going to start. He's going to hold up. Though the ball didn't hit him at all, it was checking the swing. But remember, we just gave you the list of all the injuries that Mark DeRosa has suffered. And I'll be darned if he doesn't have a possible another one, kind of a phantom. And it's that left hand. Well, he had a torn tendon sheath in the left wrist. He had surgery on that left wrist. He had to go surgery again in 2010. And then even last year, he had discomfort in that surgically repaired left wrist. And he's going to have to leave the game. Boy, he had really snaked it to hurt himself on a check swing and have to leave. Mike Fontenot is putting on the helmet, and he'll be coming up to finish the at-bat. You know, Kershaw has been hit by hitters who have been struggling. Huff had been 3 for 26 with runners in scoring position. That's a 115 batting average. Tejada was hitting 171 with runners in scoring position, and they each came up with a very important base hit. Huff to load up the bases, and Miguel to drive in a run. But all of the players on both teams certainly would sympathize to Mark DeRosa. Once again, I'm only guessing, but knowing the background, it's his left wrist. So Fontenot will be coming up, 4th inning, 1 run in. More importantly, bases loaded and nobody out. Mike hitting .208. He has 2 home runs, 7 runs batted in. Fontenot has been in 36 games. One reason Freddie Sanchez was down, though Mike played second base. Now it looks like he's going to have to finish up at third for Mark DeRosa, and we certainly hope Mark is okay. The 2-2 pitch on the way is taken in the dirt, blocked by Barajas. Cody Ross holding at third. So 3-2 the count. For the Giants, a nice bit of hitting. I mean, you have to compliment them. Cain, Rowan, and Sanchez, all that base hits going to right field. Burrell had a base hit to right field. Then Ross singled to center, and then Huff and Tejada singled to left. So they've used the whole field, and with 7 hits, they lead 2-0. Nobody out. Kershaw ready, and the 3-2 pitch is a fastball low. So Fontenot draws the walk. Everybody moves up 90 feet. The Giants have scored twice in the inning and lead 3-0.
Pitcher,
Dodgers, a couple of guys move around. No one is up to throw yet. And remember, this is a bad night for the Dodgers to rely on a bullpen that is so severely depleted. 3 runs and 7 hits for the Giants. First walk. And now the batter, Matt Cain, the infield plays up. And the first pitch to Matt, he backs off and takes the strike. In case you are thinking about it, Matt Cain has 2 sacrifices. If you think maybe they would try to squeeze, they have Aubrey Huff at third. Strike 1 pitch, very high, 1 ball and 1 strike. The art of pitching in the big leagues is truly an art. I mean, you stand on a rubber, you're 60 feet 6 inches away, and you must throw the ball in a certain area against the best hitters in the world. 1-1. Fastball for a strike, 1-2. And of course, you not only have the rhythm that is interrupted, sometimes you have a problem like Hong-Chi Kuo, where you suddenly feel you can't throw a strike. Very, very difficult job. 1-2 to Matt Cain. Kershaw ready. Here he comes. Swung on and missed. Cain helped out. That was out of the strike zone. So that for Kershaw is his 4th strikeout. Bases remain loaded, and now Aaron Rowan, who popped up and singled to right. So you have Huff, Tejada, and Fontenot out on the lines. Giants scored 1 in the 3rd and 2 here in the 4th. Aaron Rowan has 2 grand slams. He hit him against Detroit and the White Sox. And he was with Philadelphia. So Aaron, right-hand hitter. Ball 1. Looked like Kershaw tried to get a little more out of that pitch. He got it to 95, but it wasn't that good rhythmical delivery. Coming up for his 70th pitch. 1 ball and no strikes. Ball 2. So now to complicate matters, trying to fight his way out. 2 95-mile-an-hour fastballs, but neither one close. So after a 28-pitch 3rd inning, this will be his 25th pitch here in the 4th inning. So he's on the ropes. Dodgers now going to get up in the bullpen. The 2-0 pitch. Swung on. Fly ball, left center. Kemp tagging is Huff. Huff coming. The throw is offline. It gets away from Barajas. It's retrieved by Kershaw. The runners move up to 2nd and 3rd. And we're looking at the umpires now to see if anything else went wrong for the Dodgers. They're going to throw over to 3rd. Maybe the bag was missed. And they say no. So it's a 3-run inning. Now the Giants lead 4-0. Javi Guerra, just recently called up from Chattanooga, is up in the Dodger bullpen. So they thought that Huff might have left 3rd before the catch. That was the big argument. But Aubrey is in there. Well, they keep going station to station. That's the 2nd out, but the 3rd run of the inning. 4-0 San Francisco. And the batter now, Freddie Sanchez. Rowan picking up a run batted in. Fastball very high. You got that at 96. 4 runs, 7 hits for the Giants, nothing across for the Dodgers. there'll be an error charge to Matt Kemp when the ball got away at home plate to allow the runners to go to second and third. For Clayton Kershaw, one of those games. Coming in at Dodger Stadium against the Giants, 27 innings and 4 earned runs allowed. Tonight, 3 2/3 innings, and he's allowed 4, and he's not out of the woods yet. A little high, they're going to check, no swing. So Freddie managing to keep the wood back. 2-1 the count. So Tejada down the line from third, Fontenot away from second. Four nothing Giants. Curveball popped up into right field. Miles goes out, but Ethier has the play, and that's it. But it was a long, difficult inning for Clayton Kershaw. He surrenders 3, walks off losing 4-0. Jack in the Box. Get the new Bourbon Barbecue Steak Grill Sandwich at participating restaurants. And by your Southern California Ford dealers. Visit us today and trade up to Ford. Bottom of the 4th inning, 4-0 Giants. Somewhat discouraged Clayton Kershaw. Back-to-back innings, made 57 pitches and gave up 4 runs. Mike Fontenot is now at shortstop, and Miguel Tejada plays third, and the pitch, ball 1. So there's Mike, and Tejada just moves over. We'll wait to see if we get news on Mark DeRosa. A reasonable guess that he hurt that left wrist. 2-0 the count. You know, when Matt Cain first began his career against the Dodgers, he had 14 starts, and he was 0-8. His earned run average was over 4. Boy, has he changed in there. In his last 4 starts against the Dodgers, 3 victories, no losses, and an earned run average of 1.1. So Carroll, Miles, and Ethier trying to play catch-up. Little flare to right field. However, Cody is there. 1 away. That'll bring up Miles. They hit a sinking line drive to Aubrey Huff in the first inning. Miles 0 for 1, hitting .295. Cain came in with a scoreless streak. He's extended that now to 16 against the Dodgers. Kershaw's streak certainly fell apart starting in the 3rd inning. Ball one. It's a rare game for Matt Cain when the Giants get him 4 and early. Now back 1-1. Tomorrow night, Madison Bumgarner looking for his first win of the year. He is 0-6. Chad Billingsley will go up against Madison. He's 2-3. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-2. Miles, as we mentioned, very aggressive in the number 2 slot. Walked twice. He's at about 130 plate appearances. 1-2. Oh, trying to work Cain out. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Miles, although he does not walk, has certainly been hitting very well. This time pops it up. It will be Tejada. So 2 out. Miles, remember, in his first 10 games here at Dodger Stadium, hit 182. Since then, he's hit 359 here. But he hasn't had a walk at home this year. Not yet. 2 out, and Andre Ethier the batter. Ethier struck out in the first inning. Andre batting .331. Big slow curveball for a strike. 0-1. One ball and 1 strike. Cain does not get a lot of ground balls. Off the plate, 2-1. So far, however, Dodgers have managed 3 ground balls against him. 2-2. Matt right there with the so-called quality starts. He's had 7. He'd be 1 quality start behind the leader, Roy Halladay. Ground ball. Tejada playing so wide of the bag, throws him out easily. Dodgers go out 1, 2, 3. 12 in a row retired by Matt Cain, and at the end of as we go to the 5th inning. And the Giants coming up to face Clayton Kershaw with Posey, Burrell, and Ross. Buster Posey hitting .267. Almost got hit. Ball 1. Posey has hit in 6 straight and 11 straight here, but he's 0 for 2 tonight. Last year he hit .305. Two and 0. No reigning Rookie of the Year from the National League has bested his batting average from his rookie season since Hanley Ramirez. Ball 3. Hanley Ramirez hit .292 in his rookie year and came back and hit .332. Buster waiting 3 and 0. 3 and 1. During his 6-game streak, Posey coming into this game was hitting .429. And as we mentioned, he's hitting 11 straight at Dodger Stadium. This time ground ball to Jamie Carroll. So 1 away, and Pat Burrell coming up. Time to get you thinking, okay? Here's our trivia question for the night. Who are the 3 LA Dodgers to throw a no-hitter against the Giants? Well, we'll give you the answer in a little while. 1 out in the 5th. Here's Pat Burrell, grounded out, single to right. Scored a run. Hits a fly ball to Matt Kemp. 2 out.
Right fielder, number 13.
Well, Burrell doesn't hang around. Cody Ross coming up. Cody Ross struck out, singled, eventually came home on a walk from 3rd. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Giants. Nothing across for the Dodgers. Remember, Cain had retired 12 in a row, striking out 4. And 1. In. Matt Cain, by the way, has made only 55 pitches in 4 innings. Clayton Kershaw made 57 pitches in 2 innings. In the dirt. Barajas, who is 6'3", looks more like Toulouse-Lautrec back there. He spent the whole game on his knees. 1 and 2. And he goes. Kershaw picks up a strikeout, but it's somewhat hollow. He struck out 5 at the end of 4 1/2. 4-0. Giants. leading 4-0. He's only made 55 pitches. He has struck out 4. More importantly, he has retired 12 in a row. Maybe the closest to a base hit was the ground ball that Kershaw hit. That was fielded nicely by Tejada at short to throw him out. Ball 1. Matt Kemp struck out in the second inning. One ball and no strikes. And a high drive into right center field. Rowan watching this one go out. And one swing by Big Matt, and the Dodgers get on the board. So the first hit is a home run, and it's 4-1 San Francisco. For Matt Kemp, it's his first home run against Cain, and it'll bring up Juan Uribe. So Matt, who is so powerful and goes the other way. Ball 1 to Uribe. So Kemp with a game-winning home run yesterday now has 9 to lead the club. For Matt Cain, that would be the 5th home run that he's allowed this year. Two and 0. Right. Fouled away upstairs off to the right. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Juan Uribe. Matt Kemp trying to lead the way against a very successful pitcher. 2-2. Ball 3. So Cain takes a little breather here. Giants with 4. They've been averaging 3 runs a game. And there's ball 4. So after retiring 12 in a row, Cain gives up the home run to Matt Kemp. Now walks Uribe, and the batter is James Loney as Freddie Sanchez comes in for the moment. So Cain had 17 scoreless innings, and then that broke up. But again, his earned run average is still less than 2 at Dodger Stadium. Loney popped to short in the second inning, 0 for 1, and ball 1. 4 runs, 7 hits for the Giants. They've done it with 7 singles. Loney a long look at Tim Wallach. Uribe held on by Aubrey Hunt. And he got hit. So Loney hit by a pitch. And the Dodgers now have a home run, then a walk, then a hit batter, and all of a sudden they can get right back in the game. Pitch just did nail him. It looked like on the elbow. So the batter will be Jay Gibbons with 2 on and nobody out. Loney says he's all right. Dave Righetti, the pitching coach, wants to make sure Matt Cain is all right.
Now batting left fielder number 31.
So here's Gibbons, grounded to second in the 3rd inning. Gibbons 1 for 6 coming into the game against Matt Cain, but that one was a home run. Two on, nobody out, and ball 1. So Matt retired 12 in a row, and Kemp homered. Then he walked Uribe. Then he hits Loney. And ball 2. Left-hand hitters last year hit 382 against Cain. He's cut that down to 321 this year. However, when you get to the middle of the lineup, they're hitting better this year than last against him. 2-0. Popped up, foul, late start. Posey lost the ball. Cain's trying to make the catch. How do you like that? Posey lost it, and Matt from the mound slides in and can't quite do it. A tremendous effort by the pitcher, and they count 2-1. Watch Posey. He's looking where to go, and Matt knows, so he's off to the races. Tries to make the catch. Tejada right there with him. Though Posey now wants to give him a little bit of a breather. 2-1 the count. 4-1 Giants. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. So Jay Gibbons with another chance. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Scott Elbert, the left-hander, warms up if they get to Kershaw's spot, looking for a hitter. 2-1 to Gibbons. And ball 3. So all of a sudden, Matt Cain, after a beautiful 4 innings, has Bruce Bochy pacing in the dugout. On deck, Rod Barajas. 3-1 to Jay Gibbons. And ball 4 to load the bases with nobody out. We were talking about how difficult it is to be a major league pitcher. And all of a sudden, you lose your rhythm, you lose everything, and there he is hanging on. And Rod Barajas coming up. Barajas has 4 grand slams. His last one 2 years ago against Tampa Bay. So a perplexed Dave Righetti and the skipper Bruce Bochy wondering what in the world has happened to Matt Cain. Meanwhile, Juan Castro is out on deck to bat for Kershaw. Oh, 1. Barajas 7 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Cain tonight has given up a few ground balls, and of course the Giants are looking for a double play. Barajas has grounded into 1. Uribe, Loney, and Gibbons all out there. And a little pop fly. Infield fly rule is called. 1 away. So now Juan Castro will be coming up with a bases loaded. Kershaw is furious at himself, the fact that he's coming out, but he made a lot of pitches. He made 85 pitches in 5 innings. It's the old story, like Don Drysdale used to say, you'd have to cut the uniform off to get him out. Well, Kershaw will give way to Castro. The veteran hitting 185 and ball 1. So Cain gave up the home run to Kemp, walked Uribe, hit Loney, walked Gibbons, gets Barajas on a pop fly. Castro, by the way, has never had a grand slam. And he lifts one into shallow center. There's no way to advance on the fly ball. That's shallow. So Castro a little fly ball. For 1 minute, the Dodgers have the bases loaded and nobody out. The bases are loaded with 2 out. And the batter, Jamie Carroll. Well, Carroll in his leadoff role has been a wonderful leadoff hitter. But as far as RBIs are concerned, he only has 3. Jamie hitting .307. So a couple of pop flies. Dodgers about ready to lose what appeared to be a big advantage. Bases loaded, nobody out. And here's Jamie. Fouled away, 0-1. Jamie Carroll has done a great job all year, but, and the but is capital letters, to be honest. With runners in scoring position, Jamie is hitting .091. He has just 2 hits in 22 at-bats. He has Uribe at third, Loney at second, Gibbons at first, 2 out. 4-1 Giants. Little ground ball, but Freddie Sanchez and the Dodgers blow a big change. They have the bases loaded, nobody out, and come up empty, except for the home run by Kemp. And at the end of 5, 4-1 Giants. Of Fernando Mania, where you started to wonder whether he was really a human being. Remember, his record was 8-0. He had 7 complete games. He had 5 shutouts. A lot of people started to wonder, where did this guy come from? Outer space? Well, on this date in 1981, he was human. He finally lost 4-0 to the Philadelphia Phillies. Let's go back to this one. 4-1, and Scott Elbert now coming in to pick up the pieces for Clayton Kershaw. For the Dodgers, I'm sure, suffering somewhat of a letdown. A home run and then the bases loaded, nobody out, and they fail to cash it in. Though the Giants hold on 4-1. For Kershaw, frustrated about a bad night and the fact he had to come out so early. But that's all part of it. 2-0. Aubrey Hupp grounded out and singled. His single loaded the bases in the 4th inning. And a mile-high pop fly in foul ground, James Loney. 1 away. Well, remember the trivia question? We were talking about the 3 LA Dodger pitchers to throw a no-hitter against the Giants. There they are. Sandy Koufax, Jerry Royce, and Kevin Gross. Well, Gross, who is a terrific artist of wildlife, artistry at its best. And here's Miguel Tejada. Struck out, single to left. Sandy Koufax pitched his no-hitter, 1 of 4, in 1963. Jerry Royce pitched his no-hitter in 1980. Kevin Gross pitched his no-hitter in 1992. 1 ball and 1 strike to Miguel Tejada. Struggling at 210 with a home run, 12 runs batted in. Two and one. When the Giants got Tejada, let's face it, a lot of people felt that he would not really last a full year, not at such a tough position as shortstop. And Bruce Bochy will have his fingers crossed that Miguel will be able to do just that. Tejada, 37 years old on the 25th. Coming up, Dodgers will be in Houston. Tejada had a very, very tough upbringing. Poverty is an understatement where he comes from. And down he goes, striking out. He can't believe it. So a half a dozen Giants have struck out. First one for Scott Elbert. And the batter is Mike Fontenot. No news on Mark DeRosa. You just hope that he didn't seriously injure what I believe is that left wrist that has undergone surgery and so much pain for him. So for Fontenot, a chance to play. Right. Giants losing Pablo Sandoval. Sandoval went on the DL April the 30th. He had broken a bone, the right hamate bone. He had surgery, and they figure he's going to be out, let's say 6 weeks. That would mean if he really comes back in a hurry, be the middle of June. Sandoval was hitting .313 before he went down. High bouncer up the middle. Miles short hops on the line. Too late to get Fontenot. So a nice effort, but Fontenot, left-hand batter, beats it easily. And now Matt Cain coming up. Right now the Giants have 8 hits, and the only one on the outside looking in is Buster Posey, and he's the one who has hit safely in 11 straight here at Dodger Stadium. Matt Cain, with 2 out in the 3rd inning, broke the spell. I mean, there was Kershaw. He had struck out 3. He had retired 8 in a row. And then Matt Cain hit one inside first, down the line for a single with 2 out. And then Rowan singled to right. And then Sanchez singled to right for a run. And then the sky fell in on Kershaw in the 4th. 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, darn it, it's the same thing. We just get a report on poor Mark DeRosa. A left wrist strain on a check swing. That left wrist has caused him so much pain, so much trouble. 1-2 to count to Matt Cain. Well, our best wishes for a speedy recovery to Mark DeRosa. Foul back. So Scott Elbert picking up for Clayton Kershaw. The Giants against left-hand starters this year, 8-4. One and 2. Just off the corner. 2-2 to Matt Cain. Somewhat like the pitch he hit inside out, inside of first base for his first hit of the year. And down he goes. So Cain strikes out a second time. Elbert has struck out 2. 7 Giants have struck out, but it's 4-1 San Francisco. Leading off, we'll put the freeze cam on that powerful swing. And then the follow through is just magnificent. And he hits it into the pavilion in right field for his 9th home run of the year. But that's the only Dodger run right now. It's 4-1 Giants. Dodgers, after the home run, looked like they were really going to get back in the game. They had the bases loaded and nobody out. But Barajas popped up. Castro fly ball to shallow center. And then Jamie Carroll made out, and that was that. So Matt Cain, who has made 76 pitches, going to work in the bottom of the 6th inning against Aaron Miles, Andre Ethier, and Matt Kemp. Miles lined out, popped up, and that's a strike. 0-1. Down in the Dodger bullpen for the second time, Javi Guerra begins to warm up. 0-2. Dodgers naturally very short in the bullpen. Broxton is down, Quo is down, Hawksworth is down, and then Don Mattingly got the news that Padilla tightness in the forearm, and he couldn't pitch. 0-2. Line drive foul. Still 0-2. Giants scored 1 in the 3rd and 3 in the 4th. Dodger run came in the 5th. One and 2. Matt Cain, 3-2 this year, 1-0 against the Dodgers, but 3-8 lifetime. That'll do it for Aaron Miles, leading off the 6th inning. 5 strikeouts for Matt Cain. Andre Ethier struck out in the 1st inning and grounded to 3rd in the 4th. Andre hitting .329. He has 4 home runs, 21 runs batted in. Matt Kemp waiting on deck. Breaking ball for a strike. Slow curveball at 79. Two and one to count. And popped up. Left side, Tejada, Fontenot. It will be Tejada. So Ethier pops it up. 2 down in the 6th, and Matt Kemp coming up. Matt Kemp last night homered and then struck out. Tonight he struck out and then homered. 4-1 Giants in the 6th inning. Oh, and 1. Matt doing so well. He's tied for 11th with that .321 batting average he had at the start of the game, and he has that to .323. He's 6th with 52 hits. 9th in on-base percentage. 13th with a slugging percentage, and that improves with the home run. And tied for 6th with 26 RBIs. Now he has 29. And he has stolen 12 out of 15. I mean, you want to talk about a 5-tool player who also strikes out. So that would be strikeout number 6 for Matt Cain. And at the end of 6, 4-1 Giants. New Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. And by Chase. Deposit checks from your smartphone with quick deposit. Take a step forward and chase what matters. Well, here at Dodger Stadium, it's 4-1 in favor of the Giants. Just to match up the pitchers, you can see sizable difference between Matt Cain and Clayton Kershaw. Cain now has almost passed, as he gets to almost 90 pitches. They each struck out a half a dozen, but Cain has allowed 1 run on the home run by Matt Cain. And for Clayton Kershaw, he allowed 7 singles and 4 runs. So Cain in control as we go to the 7th. The Dodgers bring in their 3rd pitcher, Javi Garrett. So it's been Kershaw for 5, then Elbert, and now Garrett. Javi Guerra had Tommy John surgery in his past. He's out of Denton, Texas. And ball one. Guerra, an even 6, 205 pounder. 25 years old. He'd be 26 the end of October. Fastball pulled, a nice backhand pick by Uribe to get him. Oh, he made that look easy. So Aaron Rowan robbed of a hit. Big play by Uribe, who has not been hitting much, but boy, he really has been playing a great third base. So one away, and Freddie Sanchez coming up. Sanchez flied to center, single to right to drive in that run in the third inning, and fly to right in the fourth inning. First ball swinging, fly ball to Matt Kemp. Two down here in the seventh inning, and the batter will be Buster Posey, who has grounded to third, struck out, grounded to short. He has a little 6-game hitting streak against the league, last year's Rookie of the Year. He has also a streak of hitting in 11 straight at Dodger Stadium, all the 11 games he played here. Strike. Posey had more sock last year than he brings to the dance right now. This year, 30 of his 36 hits have been singles. 1-1. Four to 1 Giants. 2 out. Posey last year had 6 home runs. He had 13 doubles and 2 triples. So he had 21 extra base hits. 24 years old. Little roller on the line. Fair ball. No play for Guerra. And so Posey winds up with a squib single, and that keeps his streak alive. He's hit in 7 straight, and he's hit in 12 straight here at Dodger Stadium. Javi Guerra unable to put on the brakes. So a 2-out single by Posey, travels about 50 feet, and the batter will be Pat Burrell. That hit by Posey means everyone in the Giant lineup, and that includes Matt Cain, has a base hit, or at least in every spot. DeRosa was 0 for 1, but taking over in the 8th spot, Fontenot single. So 9 hits distributed amongst 9 Giants. Burrell grounded out, single to right, fly to center. Pat hitting .243. That was a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. That opened your eyes a little bit. 1-1. Two and 1. 4 runs, 9 hits for the Giants. 1 run, 1 hit for the Dodgers. That was the home run by Matt Kemp. 2-1. Two and 2. So Guerra, who's been pitching in Double-A in Chattanooga in his 2nd game, Got him. Great curveball, and that just froze Pat Burrell. So no runs, an infield single, and a man left. And at the end of 6 1/2, 4-1 Giants. Giants leading 4-1, bottom of the 7th inning, so they rearrange the furniture a little bit in the outfield. Cody Ross, who started the game in right field, has moved over to left, and Nate Shearholtz takes over in right. That means Pat Burrell comes out of the game and puts Shearholtz in Burrell's spot. For the Dodgers trying to come back, Juan Uribe fouls the first pitch off. Tomorrow night, remember, Madison Bumgarner against Chad Billingsley. This is the 8th meeting between the two teams. Dodgers have won 4 of 7. Dodgers have won 3 out of 4 here, and the Giants won 2 out of 3 up north. One and one. So Cain has allowed 1 hit, the home run by Matt Kemp. Ball 2. Matt trying to win his 4th. He's 3-2. Strike. Matt started the inning having made 89 pitches. Fouled away. Uribe struck out in the second inning, walked in the fifth, got as far as third. That's when the Dodgers no doubt feel like they could kick themselves. They had a look to get back in the game. They had the bases loaded and nobody out. Barajas popped up. Castro hit a little fly ball to shallow center, and then that was out. Carroll grounded out. Still 2-2 to Uribe. And down he goes. For Uribe to strike out, that gives Matt Cain 7 strikeouts. And the batter will be James Loney. You know, you can take the Dodgers with you wherever you go. Subscribe to MLB.tv today. You can visit Dodgers.com and order, get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. 1 out in the 7th inning. James Loney is popped to short, hit by a pitch. 0 for 1. And a fly ball to right center. Shearholtz, his first play of the night. And we have 2 down in the 7th inning. Matt Cain started off by retiring the first 12 in a row. Then Kemp homered. Then he was out of sync. He walked 2 and hit a batter. Then he got 3 in a row. So since he walked Gibbons to load the bases, he's retired 8 in a row, and here's Gibbons. Jay grounded out in the 3rd inning. Breeze blowing to left field. 1 ball and no strikes. I think last night that one picture sums up the first 2 months of the season for the Dodgers. Right now you look out to center field and the flags are blowing from right to left. Last night the American flag was blowing left to right. The state flag was blowing right to left. That was enough to confuse anybody. 3-0 the count. With 2 out. Gibbons in the driver's seat. Matt Cain ready to make 101 pitches. And he walks him again. So Gibbons has walked twice. And the batter will be Rod Barajas. Dave Righetti, with his pitcher having gone over 100, is on the phone to the bullpen. The tower of strength in the Giant bullpen, of course, is their closer, Brian Wilson, who has 10 consecutive scoreless innings and is 12 for 12 in save opportunities. So here's Rod. Popped up with the bases loaded and struck out. Right. 0-1. Ramon Ramirez, a right-hander, gets up now in the Giant bullpen. It's much too early to use Brian Wilson. Fastball sliced to right. Shearholtz on the dead run and can't get it. That means Gibbons is around third to score, and into second base goes Barajas with a double. And it's 4-2 Giants. So with a right-hand hitter up, Shearholtz was playing over in right center, and the ball just kept slicing away from him. Deanna Navarro is now coming up as we take another look at Shearholtz just missing it. It was that close. In fact, it just ticked the leather. So Nate, who just got into the game, and he has 2 chances here in the 7th inning. One he's able to catch, the ball by Loney, and the one he's unable to catch by Barajas. So here's Deanna Navarro hitting 167 with a home run, 1 run batted in. He has never faced Matt Cain. 0-1. for Barajas. His base hit. That's his first hit ever against Cain. He was 0 for 11 against him. So Rod is now 1 for 12. 4-2 Giants, 7th inning. Navarro trying to pick up Barajas. High fly ball, very playable, and it will be the center fielder Rowan, and that's the end. So the Dodgers on a double by Barajas and a walk to Gibbons get a run, get a little closer. The end of 7, 4-2 Giants. Run to Matt Kemp, and then the fly ball double off the bat of Barajas. So he has held the Dodgers to just 2 runs, and he has struck out 7 in the process. He's also made 104 pitches, so it remains to be seen whether Matt will answer the bell for the 8th inning or not. So Matt sitting quietly, not wearing a windbreaker, right arm wrapped in the towel. So from the looks of things, you get the feeling he'll go back out there in the 8th inning. His last game on the 12th against Arizona, he made 112 pitches. That's his high for the year. So we'll see just how far he goes after 104. Meanwhile, the Dodgers inch a bit closer, and Mike McDougal comes out of the pen to be their 4th reliever. Elbert, Garrett, McDougal picking up for Kershaw. You know, the Dodger bullpen, with all of its problems, has done very well, especially over the last 19 games. The earned run average for the pen about 3.5. They are 7 for 7 in save opportunities. The middle 15 games, the pen really staggered, no saves, an earned run average of about 7. So here's McDougal out of Las Vegas and Marco Island, Florida, facing Cody Ross. Right. Garrett made 12 pitches, worked 1 inning, gave up an infield single, and had a strikeout. 0-1. 0-2 to Cody. Cody struck out in the 2nd inning, hit a line drive single to center in the 4th, and struck out again in the 5th. One thing certainly the Giants have done well, they've hit a lot of home runs on the road. They have 32 home runs, and 24 of the 32 have been hit on the road. Also, the Giants have won a stretch, 9 of 11, and they scored 3 runs or less 6 times to put some gray in Bochy's beard. They won 4 games in their last at bat in that stretch of 9 of 11. And the Giants have played very tough in 1-run games. Their record is 12-3. 2-2. Three and 2. That was a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. And of course, McDougal is 6'3", and they say he weighs 190. 3-2. And Cody fouls it back. Barajas coming back and can't make the play. Three and 2 the count. Ross, Huff, and Tejada in that order. Fastball, slow foul, still 3-2. The Giants, in scrutinizing their ball club, they don't bunt very well. Although they have a lot of home runs on the road, they don't have any power at home. They hit into a lot of double plays. They really don't steal a lot of bases. They strike out quite a bit. However, they're right there behind Colorado. And remember, the Rockies lost to Philadelphia 2-1. When the night began, the Giants were a half a game back of the Rockies. 3-2 the count to Cody Ross. Way inside. So Cody gets the walk to open up the 8th inning. For the Giants, interestingly enough, this is only the second time they've got a leadoff man on base. Bruce saw Burrell open up the 4th inning with a single, and now he sees Ross get a walk here in the 8th. And the batter is Aubrey Huff. Grounded out, single to left, and fouled out. Ball 1. Going into the game, if you put Buster Posey and Aubrey Huff together against the Western Division teams, they've combined for 40 RBIs, 31 of them against the West. Posey with 16 and Huff 15. One ball and no strikes to Aubrey. And he lifts one. It'll be Jamie Carroll. So one out here in the 8th inning. Cody Ross at first base and Miguel Tejada coming up.
Miguel Tejada.
We were talking earlier about Tejada. I mean, he grew up really almost below poverty, if there is such a thing. In his neighborhood, there was no water, no electricity. He went down to the river with a bucket if he wanted to wash up. And with all of that, they were hit by Hurricane David. He's from the Dominican. That was back in 1979. Miguel was about 3 years old, and they lost everything. They had to flee to a disaster relief camp. So I'm sure when he reads about troubles in Haiti, troubles in Japan, now the troubles with the Mississippi taking homes away from so many, he knows. Little breaking ball strike, 0-1. Tomorrow night, Bumgarner and Billingsley. Then the Dodgers will go out on the road to Chicago and Houston. And they'll come home to play Florida and Colorado. 0-1 to Miguel. In the dirt. Nice block by Barajas. You look at Miguel Tejada at 5'9", and you realize he's been an infielder all the years. He came up in 1997. You know, he had 6 straight years where he played 162 games. I mean, that is really grinding it out. 1-1. Ball 2, 2-1. Tejada, a small package, had a lot of power in his early years. When he was with the A's, the year that he was the MVP, he had 34 home runs and 131 runs batted in. 2-1. Foul back, 2-2. One thing too about Tejada, he makes contact. He went way back to that big year in 2002. He struck out 130 times, but he has never struck out 100 times since. 55 times with 500 at bats, 70 some odd times with 650 at bats. 2-2. There goes the runner on a knockdown, and the throw is behind him. So Cody Ross steals second. Tejada has to get out of there, and we have a 3-2 count. That clears the way for Barajas. Well, Cody Ross steals second base. He has stolen 2 out of 3. Tejada now trying to pick him up. 3-2. Miguel has a dozen runs batted in. Sliced out of play. Still 3-2. For Tejada, growing up in such poverty, he did a lot of things. He shined shoes. He begged on the streets for pesos, and by the time he was 11, he totally dropped out of school, worked in a garment factory, washing clothes, pressing pants, anything at all to make a buck. Three and 2. And strokes it to left field, and that's going to be in front of Gibbons for a base hit. So Ross looks back and scores. Tejada picks him up. So it was a big stolen base by Cody Ross, and then an even bigger base hit by Miguel Tejada. And the Giants lead 5-2. So McDougal gives up the run. And the batter now, Mike Fontenot. Five runs, 10 hits for the Giants. 2 runs, 2 hits for the Dodgers. Fontenot had to pick up for hard luck Mark DeRosa, who checked his swing back in the 4th inning and re-injured a left wrist. He'd had surgery on that wrist. He'd had all kinds of problems. And Fontenot took over at an infield single in the 6th inning. Check inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 8th inning, they will have Carroll, Miles, and Ethier. One and 1 to count. There goes the runner. The pitch, a strike. The throw is down there to get him. So Tejada at 37, the wheels perhaps not churning quite as quickly as they used to. And Barajas hangs him out to dry. Right on the money to Jamie Carroll. Tag was up the arm around the elbow right there, just a hair before the hand got the bag. So Fontenot now 1 ball and 2 strikes the count in the dirt. The paid attendance tonight 30,421. 30,421. 5-2 Giants, 2 out, 8th inning. Three and 2 to Fontenot. Foul ball. Fontenot from Slidell, Louisiana. He went to school at Louisiana State. Slidell is, they tell me, about an hour from Baton Rouge. And of course, they're doing everything possible to make sure that the rushing Mississippi does not get into Baton Rouge or New Orleans. Ball 4. So Fontenot has drawn 2 walks and has a single. And we have a moment to remind you the Dodgers Ultimate Giveaway Plan is available. 8 games, 10 giveaways, including all 5 remaining bobbleheads, 2 fleece blankets, Dodgers sports bag, beach towel, and purple and gold LA cap. You get it all at $12 a seat per game. For more information, go to Dodgers.com/mini-plans or call 323-224-1365. Matt Cain, with 2 out in the 3rd inning, broke the spell and singled to right field. That was followed by singles by Rowand and Sanchez. The Giants scored a run and then came back with 4 hits for 3 runs in the 4th inning. And now let's see. Lance Cormier is in the bullpen, and it looks like it'll be a hook now for McDougal. Yep, here comes Cormier. Out goes McDougal, and we'll be back. And a stolen base. So with Matt Cain due up, the Dodgers switch. They take out McDougal and bring in Lance Cormier. Cormier, who was born in Lafayette, Louisiana, grew up there, went to school at the University of Alabama because he left Louisiana and went and moved to Tuscaloosa.
Pitcher number 18, Cain.
He had his degree in finance, graduated with a good GPA of 3.65. So Lance Cormier be 31 in August, 6'1", 200-pounder. Trying to get Matt Cain and end the inning. Oh, and 1. For Cormier, he has not pitched a lot. He's been in 7 games. Earned run average, as you can imagine, when you don't pitch very much, his ERA is 8. 10 innings. He's pitched out of the stretch a lot. He's given up 16 hits and 4 walks. So Fontenot doesn't figure to do any running with a pitcher up there and 2 out. 0-1. Fastball, a hopper to third base where Uribe hits his man on the move. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 left. And at the end of 7 1/2, 5-2 Giants. The Dodgers, and it's a tribute to Matt Cain. As you can see, the Dodgers have just 2 hits. It's Kemp's home run and Baraja's RBI double. Gibbons scored the only run, and a lot of offers. Carroll, Miles, Ethier 0 for 3, Uribe Loney 0 for 2. Now the pitch count. Matt Cain, through 7 innings, has made 105 pitches. His high this year, 112. His career high, when you go back to 2006, he made 131 pitches in a game that year. So we'll see what he has left with Carroll, Miles, and Ethier. And the Giant bullpen begins to warm up with Sergio Romo and the left-hander Javier Lopez. Jamie Carroll grounded to short, flied to right, grounded to second. 0-1. Dodgers had a golden opportunity, if you weren't with us, back in the 5th inning. Kemp homered, and the next thing you know, the Dodgers had the bases loaded and nobody out. But Barajas popped up, Castro, little fly ball to shallow center, and Carroll grounded out. That's a breaking ball strike. 1-2. Carroll was hitting .333 against Cain until tonight. And that's going to be hit into center field for a base hit. Though we already saw Righetti go to the phone once in the last inning as Carroll singles, and the batter will be Aaron Miles, and Dave's on the phone again. So he's got Romo, the right-hander, Lopez, the left-hander, and Aaron Miles. Aaron Miles lined to first, popped up, struck out. It would not surprise anybody if he tried to bunt for a base hit. Aaron batting .290. Talking about surprise, I guess you'd have to say the big surprise would be if Aaron Miles walked. Cain walked 2 and hit a batter in the 5th inning, and then he walked another in the 7th, though he has walked a total of 3. And ball 1. And popped up left side, Fontenot. So Miles pops her up 1 away, and Andre Ethier the batter. You know, when you talk about Matt Cain, and he's coming out now, Bruce Bochy has gone to the pen for sure. Of course, Bruce, his father was a sergeant major in the Army. So when Bruce goes out there, that's that. You're done. And he's already alerted the pen, and with Ethier, you figure it's Javi Lopez coming in. Matt made 111 pitches, and he went 7 1/3 innings. We'll be back. One of the most underrated, very good pitchers in the National League. Tonight he goes 7 1/3, gives up 3 hits and 2 runs, goes out leading 5-2, and they give the ball to left-hander Javi Lopez. Javi Lopez, born in San Juan, Puerto Rico, lives in Colorado, played there 1 year with the Diamondbacks. He was with the Red Sox for 4 years, and last year he was with the Pirates, and then at the end with the Giants. And at the end, his earned run average last year, 1.4. Well, he's done better than that coming into this one. Sidearm and snakes it low, ball 1. Andre Ethier struck out, grounded out, and popped up. 1-0 the count. That's in there. Lopez, 1 win, no losses, an ERA of 1.1 in his 21st game. But he's a spot reliever. He's only been in a little under 16 innings. Two and one. Lopez comes out of there pretty much clean shaven, but down in the bullpen, shades of the old House of David professional baseball team, the Beards, Sergio Romo and Brian Wilson. 2 and 1. On the outside corner, Lopez throwing around the corner to a left-hand hitter. By the way, Javi Lopez has a degree in psychology from the University of Virginia. Got it. Boy, I'll bet you he's tough, especially on left-handers, the way he sneaks that ball in there. So Ethier strikes out a second time, 2 down. Matt Kemp has provided what power the Dodgers have in the last 2 games. Last night, you remember, they count 3-1. He got a ball knee-high outside part of the plate, hit it into the right field pavilion over the scoreboard. Tonight, leading off the 5th inning, he did the same thing to Matt Cain, going the other way for a home run. Dodgers, however, added only 1 more, and one of the 2 Beards will be coming in. Sergio Romo jogging in from the pen, and we'll be right back. With 2 out in the 8th inning, and Matt Kemp will be coming up against Sergio Romo, the little beard. Sergio from Brawley. Look at that ERA, less than 1. And then, of course, if he gets to Brian Wilson, he's 12 for 12 in save opportunities. Little breaking ball away, ball 1. 1-0. Matt struck out in the 2nd, homered in the 5th, and struck out in the 6th. Another breaking ball in there, 1-1. Romo came here with his family. They used to come to see the Dodgers play, and he remembers exactly where he sat seeing his first major league game here. He was 11 years old, and he said he was sitting right next to the foul pole in left field. They used to come to see Rudy Cianez pitch, especially. And another breaking ball, and that's going to be hit off the end of the bat, a dunker. So the Dodgers get Kemp single, advancing Carroll to 2nd, and it'll bring up Uribe. That breaking ball sounded like he hit it with the morning paper, but at least it drops for a single. And now Bruce Bochy comes marching back out to the mound. 3 straight same pitches to Kemp. And so Sergio comes out. And Bruce will have to go to the pen against Uribe. And it's the big beard that will be coming in. Yep, here it comes. Right off a Smith Brothers cough drop box. Brian Williams. We'll be back. Ten straight scoreless innings. He is 12 for 12 in saves and opportunities. However, he has not pitched in a week. So we'll see how he goes now against Juan Uribe. Uribe, having been a teammate, never faced him. And Juan represents the possible tying run. 5-2 Giants, 2 on, 2 out in the 8th inning, and Matt Cain sweating it out along with Tim Lincecum. 0-1. Brian Wilson is 3-1 in his 19th game. He has walked 12, struck out 21. He's allowed 13 hits. 0-1. 1-1. Throws hard, hit 94. Uribe hitting .211. Struck out twice and walked. Dodgers have Carroll at second, Kemp at first. 2 away. 2-1. Looked like Wilson tried to get a little extra on that. Came off the mound, and it was 91. And he's behind 3-1. So Matt Cain, who labored hard, made 105 pitches. Then it was Lopez, then it was Romo, and now it's Wilson. 3-1 to Juan Uribe. Fouled away. So the Dodgers get this much of an edge. The runners will be going full count, 2 down. And Loney waits on deck. Loney, by the way, is just 2 for 11 against Wilson, but he does have a home run against him. So James waits, and Posey talks to Brian. Runners ready. Runners go. And it's lined to the gap in left center, and nobody's there. 2 runs will score. And into second base is Uribe, and it's 5-4 Giants. So Carroll, who scored, is charged to Cain. Kemp, who scored, is charged to Romo. And it's 5-4 Giants. And now the Dodgers have the tying run at second and Juan Uribe. A tough moment for Bruce Bochy as James Loney checks in. Remember, we told you Wilson hasn't worked in a week. So Cain and Lincecum sweating him out. And Brian Reddy backs him off. 1 ball and no strikes. So Juan Uribe, clutch double against his old club. We're in the 8th. 5-4 Giants, 2 out. One and one. Giants have led all the way with a run in the 3rd inning, 1-0. With 3 in the 4th inning to chase Kershaw to lead 4-0. Then 4-1. Then the Dodgers got another run in the 7th to make it 4-2. Giants got a big run in the 8th, and the Dodgers have come back with 2 to trail 5-4. Little ground ball through into right field. Here comes Uribe. The throw to the plate. He's in there. And the Dodgers have tied it up on that slow roller that found the hole. And so all of Matt Cain's work, 105 pitches, have just gone down the drain. A multi-ground ball. I think in some ways, if you could look at that play again, I think Aubrey Huff might have had a play. Maybe. It's always a tough play by the first baseman, whether he should go after that ball or not. Take another look. There's the ground ball. Watch Huff. Had he kept going, I think he might have had a play. They'll have a runner now for Loney. It'll be Tony Gwynn. So Aubrey going back to the bag. It really have to study that, but it's certainly a thought in this stage of the game. So Loney will take it, a base hit into right field, ties up the game, and the batter now will be Jay Gibbons with Tony Gwynn running for Loney. Going all the way back to the great Gil Hodges, and Gil always said that ground ball, the do-or-die decision, is the toughest play for a first baseman. One thing I will say, that when the ball was hit, Wilson was breaking to come to first base. He expected a play. So 5-5 here in the 8th. Gibbons grounded out, walked twice. And ball 1. So Wilson gives up the single. Dodgers now have 3 singles and a double in the inning. Gwynn goes and then decides to go back to the bag. He started, then felt he didn't have enough of a jump. That's when he started and lopes over to talk to him. 2-0 the count to Jay Gibbons. The Giants and the Dodgers hope you'll be with us tomorrow night here. Bumgarner and Billingsley. Tony Gwynn, trying to find an opening, has stolen 4 out of 5. 5 runs, 10 hits for the Giants. 5 runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers. Outside corner, 2-1. Well, it's the manager's count. If they're going to play hit and run, this would be the time. And of course, you know about Jay Gibbons and his contacts. Looks like they're bothering him a little bit. Tony looking for an opening. Second baseman Freddie Sanchez is there, and that's the inning. However, the Dodgers get off the floor in the 8th inning. They score 3, and they tie it up. The key hit, that ground ball by Loney, and Aubrey Huff's decision. 5-5. Have Tony Gwynn out there in left field after having run for James Loney, and Jay Gibbons came out, so the Dodgers needed a first baseman, and Jerry Sands will take over at first base. Jerry's brother Steven is on leave from the Air Force. He's in the stands tonight. He's somewhere down below us behind home plate, we know. So looked like he wasn't going to see his brother play, but here's Jerry taking over at first base. And here now is Aaron Rowan leading off the 9th inning. Big overhand curveball for a strike. Rowan has popped up, single to right, had a scoring fly ball, and lost a hit on a fine play by Juan Uribe. So he's 1 for 3. 1-1 to count. The Dodgers with Kershaw, Elbert, Guerra, McDougal, and Cormier. That means the starting pitchers, nothing to do with it. Kershaw and Cain. Giants using Cain, then Lopez, Romo, and Wilson. Little roller, charging Uribe, picks it with the glove, double clutches, and got him anyway. Bruce Bochy, who is ticked off anyway, is going to argue with DJ Rayburn. And Rowan might have hurt himself a little bit the way he's walking back to the dugout. He might have hurt his back. Yeah, I'm sure he did, in fact. Kind of arches his back anyway, but when Rowan, you can watch him something, he's called out, but now he'll turn around and he walked very slowly back into the dugout. almost as if he had a muscle cramp. And they're taking care of him in the dugout. So 1 away. Uribe rarely picks the ball up with the bare hand, and going to have to take Rowan, I think, back into the clubhouse. Maybe a hamstring, just not sure, but you could see he hurt himself immediately. Freddie Sanchez flied to center, single to right, flied to right, flied to center. So Freddie is 1 for 4 in a 5-5 tie in the 9th inning. Waiting on deck, Buster Posey. One and one. And that's a little low. Sanchez came into the game hitting .272. 1 for 4. Two balls, one strike. Ball 3. Foul ball, 3-2. Freddie Needle new bat. Cracked that thing. So Sanchez going over to the wood pile. 3-2 the count. 1 out, 9th inning in a 5-5 game. Giants led all the way until the Dodgers scored 3 in the 8th. And of course the Dodgers tied, but they can go back to the 5th inning when they had the bases loaded and nobody out and failed to score. Lance Cormier involved now, very much so. Does not have a win or a loss. Elbert, Guerra, McDougald, and Cormier coming out of the pen. All right, 3-2. And a line drive base hit into left field. So Sanchez comes up with his second hit.
Number 28, Buster Posey.
Got all of that thing, and the batter is Buster Posey. Posey had grounded to third, struck out, grounded out again. He had a little 6-game hitting streak on the line, and the fact that he hit safely in 11 straight at Dodger Stadium, and he squirted one up along third base. Javi Guerra tried to make a play, slipped and fell down. So Posey picked up a hit to keep both streaks alive. Freddie Sanchez over there at first base does not have a stolen base. 0 for 1. And a base hit into left field. Sanchez to second as Gwynn gets it back in, and it almost got away. Nice save by Aaron Mine. So with 1 out, back-to-back singles to left field by Sanchez and Posey, and the batter will be Nate Scherholz. And from the looks of things, it is up to Cormier. There's no one else throwing in the Dodger bullpen. Remember, Padilla has a tightness at least in his forearm, so he can't pitch. And they've used Elbert, Guerra, and McDougald. Last night they used Jansen and Guerrier. So the pen is quiet. Nate Scherholz hitting .286. That's right. He has 3 home runs, 11 runs batted in. Good, solid ball player. His mom is from England. Foul back. So Nate's in the hole now. No balls and 2 strikes. second-round pick by the Giants in 2003, and as a kid, he was a minor league bat boy. Freddie Sanchez at second, Buster Posey at first, 1 out, 5-5 in the ninth. Dodgers have Barajas, Cormier, and Carroll in the bottom of the ninth. Nice save by Barajas. 1-2 the count. Giants came into this game a half a game back of Colorado, and Colorado lost to the Phillies 2-1. The Dodgers began the night 3.5 back of Colorado. Nate Shearholtz with Bruce Bochy, his skipper, watching him up there. Remember, we told you about Shearholtz. When he first came up, he was the rare player who did not wear a batting glove. And then suddenly, the next time we saw him early this year, he was wearing 2 batting gloves, but he's back to normal now, no gloves. 2-2 the count to Nate. He's 27, 6'2", 215, lives up in Danville, went to Shabbat Junior College. 2-2 to Nate Shearholtz. Fouled away. So Sanchez and Posey at the ready, 1 out. 2-2 the count to Shearholtz. Ball 3. Shearholtz, quite a young businessman as he waits on Cormier. Nate used to buy baseball cards. By the time he was 14 or 15, he was buying and selling on eBay and eventually made enough money to buy a car, his first car. All right, 3-2, runners hold. High chopper to Uribe, to second, to first, no play. Good hard slide by Buster Posey to break it up. So Buster does his job and keeps the inning alive for Cody Ross. And it's a force play, 5-4.
Cody Ross.
So there's Miles trying to use the bag to keep the runner away. Jumps and then has no play. So now a meeting at the mound, first and third with 2 out. You have to cover every possible angle, and I think the first thing they're thinking about is what happens if Shearholtz starts to run. Shearholtz has stolen 3 bases. You have Freddie Sanchez, who runs pretty well over a third, despite the fact he was born with a club foot. You may remember that story. So here is Ross. First and third, 2 out, 9th inning, 5-5. Cody has struck out twice, singled, walked, and scored twice. Ball 1. Aubrey Huff hits behind Ross. Sanchez and Shearholtz. That's in there. 1-1. Jamie Carroll communicating to Aaron Miles. Meanwhile, Tim Flannery is talking to Freddie Sanchez at third. 1-1 to Cody Ross. A fake and a look. For Cormier, who certainly hasn't pitched a lot, He has 2 wild pitches. So that's yet another problem Rod Barajas has to really bear down. 1-1. And there he goes. And there goes the ball. A high drive down the left field line and gone. So if they worried about Shearholtz going, he was going. And Cody Ross hits it out. A 3-run home run. And the Giants lead 8-5. For the former Dodger, Cody Ross hits his 3rd home run and picks up 10 RBIs for the year. Well, they were running Shearholtz, and Cormier served it up. Breaking ball, Ross just timed it and hit it right down the line, well back into the stands, a good 10 rows back alongside the bullpen. And there's a strike to Aubrey Huff. So for Cody, who is a really personable guy, he comes up with a huge home run. And for the Giants, if it stands up, they'll go back into first place. That's how big it was. Well, Cody scored 3, and he himself has scored 3 times tonight. And the Giants lead 8-5. Ground ball, foul, 1-2. So you can have the meeting on the mound. You can go through everything possible, and you say, now what are we going to do if Shearholtz runs? And sure enough, Shearholtz ran, and Cody hits it out. So sitting next to the beard, and with Freddie Sanchez on the other side, the Giants lead 8-5. So Cormier stung to the heart on that pitch. 1-2 to count to Aubrey Huff. So whether Huff should have gone after the ground ball off Loney's bat, that question is washed away on the 3-run home run by Cody Ross. 2-2. And pop foul and out of play. Tomorrow night, Madison Bumgarner and Chad Billingsley, game 2 of the series and the final game of this homestand. There's a contrast, isn't it? Hair and no hair, with Ross sitting alongside of Wilson. 3-2. Cody, the animated one, and Ryan Wilson deep in thought. Three and 2 to Huff with Tejada on deck. And down goes Aubrey, but it comes late. 2 singles and a big home run for Cody Ross. And we're heading to the bottom of the 9th. 8-5 Giants. he had a single and a walk, a stolen base, and he had scored 2, and then he hits the 3-run home run. So all told, Cody scored 3, knocked in 3, and with his home run, gives the Giants the 8-5 lead. Brian Wilson, who could not get the save in the 8th inning for the first time this year, now tries for a win. Brian Wilson will be facing Rod Barajas to start it off. And a strike. 0-1. Barajas has struck out, had one big chance, bases loaded, nobody out in the 5th inning, and he popped up. And then he doubled to drive in a run in the 7th. 0-2. Wilson, when he came in the 8th inning, made 13 pitches. His career high pitch count, 42. So we'll watch that for you. 0-2. And that's slapped into right field. Base hit. So Russ Mitchell will come off the bench now to bat for Cormier with Barajas at first.
Russ Mitchell.
There is no one throwing in the Dodger bullpen, but Cormier will give way now to Mitchell. Mitchell becomes the 3rd Dodger pinch hitter. Castro flied out to shallow center. Navarro flied out to shallow center. And now here's Mitchell. And a strike. Mitchell is 0 for 7. 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter. They're not holding Barajas. They certainly don't expect him to do any running. Fouled away upstairs. 0-2 the count. A little late coming off the bench late in a game to get a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. You figure you'll be a little late. 0-2 the count. And down goes Mitchell. So 1 away here in the 9th inning.
Shortstop, number 14.
And the batter will be Jamie Carroll. High fastball. Just threw it right by Russ. The hitter is Jamie Carroll. Grounded to short, flied to right, grounded to second, singled to center, and scored a run. Aaron Miles on deck. Carroll's base hit in the 8th inning was against Matt Cain. 0-1. So right now it's Wilson to win and Cormier to lose unless the Dodgers get off the deck. 0-1. Indeed. Brian Wilson, I know it's been referred, but I wonder if he didn't hurt himself. And here comes Boshi and the Giant trainer. Did something. Released. You see how his head went down and the way reaction is followed through. Something happened. Boshi looked over, but the boys in the dugout spotted it right away. O'Brien's going to make a toss, I think, to see if he's okay, but he's not quite ready to make the toss. It's only May, and so you can imagine Boshi anguishing. He's going to talk to Dave Righetti. There's no one throwing in the Giant bullpen, and it looked like Wilson's going to tough it out, whatever bothered him. But Brian felt something. And of course, now the concern, if you're Boshi, Righetti, or any member of the Giants, you're saying to yourself, well, now don't be a hero. Bruce, very edgy. We told you that Wilson had not pitched in a week. 0-2 the count to Jamie Carroll. Fastball, and he hurried that thing up there at 93, so he appears to be okay. No balls and 2 strikes to Jamie Carroll. One and 2. So remember, we saw Aaron Rowan leave. I'm not sure whether it was his back or his hamstring. We saw Mark DeRosa re-injure that left wrist. And now Brian Wilson a little tentative. Comebacker off his glove, knocks it down, and makes the play. So Carroll hits back to the box. Good play by Brian Wilson. Barajas goes to second, and the batter is Aaron Miles. Down in the Giant bullpen, just in case, and that was a fine play on a ball hit right back at him. Spun out of the glove, but it didn't go far, and he made the play. In the pen, Jeremy Affeldt and Ramon Ramirez loosening up. When Brian Wilson came out of spring training, you may or may not remember, he had an oblique strain. He hurt his side, and I'm sure they were scared to death that he re-injured that particular area. And he gets a strike to Miles. Dodgers, just for the moment, would give anything for Miles to get aboard and get Andre Ethier up there. Ethier 1 for 6 against Wilson. He has a home run against him, and he would be the tying run. 1-1 to Aaron Miles. Remember, Miles rarely walks. Miles has walked twice in 40 games. Trying to get aboard one way or another. The outfield shallow and way over towards left field. Now he's down to the last strike. So Brian Wilson battling for a victory. He has 12 saves. Should he win, he'll be 4-1. One ball, 2 strikes. Foul ball out of third down the line. 8 runs, 13 hits, and no errors for the Giants. 5 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error for the Dodgers. Cody Ross, the kid who dreamt of being a rodeo clown. And of course, that's no fun. You go out there and try to distract a Brahma bull, but that's what he wanted as a kid. Well, he has gored the Dodgers tonight. 1-2. And a ground ball fielded by Fontenot to get him. So the Dodgers on a 3-run home run by a former Dodger, Cody Ross, bow to the Giants 8-5. The Giants 8 runs, 13 hits, and no errors. For the Dodgers, 5 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. The winner is Wilson, and the loser is Cormier. So each team now has won 4 of the 8, and the 9th game tomorrow night with Bumgarner and Billingsley. A reminder, stay tuned for Dodgers Live coming up next. Good night, everybody.